we'll get that. So, hey, welcome to I Want to Know. My name is Stephen G. Fullwood, and I'm here with the creatives behind the film series. We'll learn a little bit about that. Lyrical Protege, and I'm going to introduce our guest today, who I have some connection with because we all have lived in or are from Toledo, Ohio, including my nephew Dante Russell, Tyrell Betts, and Michael Merck Hayes. And so let me tell you a little bit about who these people are. Whose phone is that?
Dante.
Never mind.
You know what? Okay, so I'm gonna just go ahead and get started. Tyrell Betts was born and raised in Toledo, Ohio, where he started his career and graduated with a digital arts degree from Bowling Green State University in 2017. Tyrell has a passion for film, photography, and the digital arts. He was constantly going to movies as a kid and watching film trailers, which inspired him to perfect his craft. It didn't matter what genre, he was on it. He also loves creating special projects in both film and photography. His digital arts degree, however, taught him how to create and compose images creatively, giving his photography and films a unique look. Tyrell, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty amazing. Better than amazing.
Better than amazing? Better than amazing. So I'm going to introduce you one by one. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and I'm going to introduce Merck and Dante. So tell me a little bit about Lyrical Protege. I want to know more about it. I want to tell our audience what you got.
So Lyrical Protege dips between fiction and nonfiction. The reason why I say that is because it deals with real industry problems, real industry situations, but it takes place in a multiverse, a futuristic world. Okay. And in this world, you have two sides of the coin. You got Corp world and you have artist world. Mm-hmm. Corp world is where all the executives lives at, the P. Diddy's, the Master P's. Okay. And then artist world is where all the artist lives at, the Cardi B's, the artists, the Lil Wayne. Okay. In this universe, in order for the artist to get signed, they have to go to Corp world to get signed. Mm-hmm. It's forbidden against the rules for the executives to go to artist world to try to sign the artist quickly. Okay. Because of the knowledge that they have. They could just take advantage of them, get them under 360 deals. Okay. So in the series, I end up, I play as a lead actor. I play as a label owner that's, that's trying to save my label from failing. So I'm in a scarcity mindset. I'm just trying to break the rules. Mm-hmm. So I end up going to artist world with my personal assassin, Dante, which is like my security. And we end up having to fight different assassins that's guarding the artist because I'm breaking the rules. I'm not going by the rules. Okay. And then I'm left to face my consequences, and Dante is left, which is Eli, is left to face, the different assassins.
Okay. Cool. All right, that's a nice opening. That's a nice opening. Let's go to Michael Merck Hayes, who was raised by creatives. He grew up in what many call the struggle, yet he managed to be immersed in music. And by the time he reached college, his stage name Mercury came about while overseeing the city's longest running poetry and jazz open mic night, which was at Murphy's, which was running when I was there. And I left in 1996. I live in New York right now. This venture grew to include awards, poetry books, and local recognition. But the music scene was calling. We were just talking about beats versus rapping just a moment ago. For most of 106 and Park, that era, Merck was one half of the music production duo that served as CEOs for one of Ohio's most well-known labels. In 2020, Merck launched MerckPlusFriends.com and approached Dante Russell and Tyrell Betts about launching a web series featuring martial arts and techno music. Lyrical Protege debuted November 1st, 2021, and serves as Merche's. That's how you pronounce it?
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah. Merche's debut into both film writing and film scoring, as he is the chief writer and musical producer for the project. As of spring of 2023, anyone with access to Roku and other streaming devices will now find Lyrical Protege available on the new platform, Shine TV. And we will have a link to that in the notes as well. Under new releases. The web series was written by Michael Merck Mercury as a fantasy drama, now a film, and every piece of music was produced by Merc as well to serve this project as a new direction for this Toledo-born creative. So welcome to I Want to Know, Merc. I want to start out by saying welcome to the show again, but also I want to ask you a little bit about how you got started with Lyrical Protege. Even though I talked a little bit about it, it'd still be good to tell our audience a little more about its origin story.
Okay. Thank you for having us. Appreciate you. Dante has mentioned a lot about you, and appreciate what you've done. So my history as a creative, if you would have asked me 5 years ago, hey, can you write a movie? I would have told you I could write you a song, like I could write you a poem. Like, I had no idea that I would write anything like this. But like I mentioned, the pandemic, that's how I refer to it. The pandemic, the shutdown of 2020, it gave everybody a lot of time and it gave everybody a lot of opportunity. For music producers, a lot of companies were giving away freebies and things to incentivize, basically use your creativity, like use this time to be creative.
Okay.
So during 2020, I entered 2 film scoring competitions. They're still on my YouTube. Music producers, when we can't get our beats with an artist or with a rapper or a singer, what we'll do is we'll take our, music producers, what we'll do is we'll take the same tracks and try to get them in film, commercial, TV, which can actually be a lot more lucrative. So I entered 2 competitions, didn't hear much back. And then I was working on my website. When I met Dante and Tyrell, the first day that I met Dante, he showed me their YouTube where they did this hilarious FedEx sketch. And the sketch was hilarious. And I was like, what I told him, I was like, man, number one, like I've been around a lot of creatives in my city because of what I've done with the paper and the label and all this stuff I've done. It's hard to be funny. A lot of people think that comedy is easy. Comedy is one of the most difficult things to do as an amateur because people think they're funny and they're not. Just straight up. And as somebody who's had to have a label before, like I've had to tell people, okay, you're not, you think you're here, but you really are here. You got to get here. So I told them, I'm like, no, y'all brothers are here. Like when I met them, I was like, no, like I know talent when I see it. So what I told them, I was like, look, I have a website and I have an idea. This whole idea about artist world versus Corp world, that is from my time in the music scene. So I wrote something that I told them, I was like, yo, just trust my mind. My mind was in a different place when I came up with this. But Tyrell and Dante were actually not supposed to be the leads of the project. The original concept was Dante's character of Eli was supposed to be protecting this female rapper who was become, and we tried like a couple of girls in the parts and like the reliability just wasn't there. And like on the 3rd day of meeting them, I was like, y'all just be the leads. I'm gonna rewrite it so y'all are the focal, because they weren't the focal point at first. It really came about through us like meeting. I complimented them on what they were doing. I approached them and said, hey, this is what I can add to it. I don't want to stop what y'all are doing, but I have an idea for like a series. And One Punch Man and I would say Scott Pilgrim are kind of like things that inspired me, because One Punch Man, even though it's a big series, it started out on the creator's website as a web, like just like this. It started out as like installments.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how One Punch Man, and that's the only anime I know. I don't get into anime. That's the only one I know. But basically, the whole thing came about when not only did I pitch it to him, but when we pitched the original thing was Eli's character was supposed to be protecting a female artist, and Ty's character was supposed to be like a media, like a reality TV host. And then when the girls who were like the central part, the scheduling wasn't right, they kept kind of falling back. I was like, you know what? We're just gonna. You kind of have to know, the elders say, you got to know what side your bread is buttered on. I've heard the elders say that before. So it's almost like you got to know what's right in front of you.
Yes.
And what was right in front of me was these 2 should be the leads.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't at first. The first like 3 or 4 days of this, they were side characters. But then, like through scheduling, I rewrote it and made them two the leads, and here we are.
Here we are. And so I did what you're saying about people. Some folks try to act funny or try to perform funny, but they're not actually funny at all. And I basically watched this third performer grow up being funny. Like he just has that natural ability to be funny, as well as like just be really creative. And so that is my nephew Dante Russell, who grew up entertaining people, primarily his family in skits and whatnot, but he can make anybody laugh. By high school, he began performing on theater stages throughout Ohio and Michigan, but performing sketch comedy wasn't the only thing he wanted to do. He wanted more, and he attended the Starbound NYC in New York City to learn more about the business. He started networking and meeting people outside of Toledo, which led to his first round of professional auditions. Denzel Washington, Wesley Snipes, Michael Jai White, these are the people who inspired him. And he continues to realize his chosen career path as an actor by honing his craft and being available for different kinds of productions. And he also has a very popular TikTok. Ladies and gentlemen, Dante Russell.
You guys doing?
How you doing?
Pretty good. How about you? Glad. Thanks for having me.
No problem. I just left Toledo and I'm back here in New York City. So I've really enjoyed hanging out with you guys and with the family in terms of our reunion. Tell me that now, Merck has talked about how he was involved. So has Tyrell. Talk about your involvement with Lyrical Protege and what inspired you to take the role.
Well, what inspired me was the fact that I knew mixed martial arts and stuff. So when Merck actually pitched it, I said, hey, you know what? He said, you're going to write some scenes, mixed martial arts and stuff, fighting, and just throw some stuff together. Before that, we had a film called No Mercy. A couple people, we was actually filming it, and it fell through. Me and Tyrell, we was there and everything. It was supposed to be similar, a little bit similar to Lyrical Protege, but it fell through. So we was hungry to get something real quick. So when Merck pitched it to us, I said, yeah, we can do that. And we pitched martial arts. I said, ding, a light went off my head. So that's my involvement in it. And I pretty much love it. Basically my role in there is to, I'm a stunt man and help the actors in there how to fall correctly without hurting themselves. I do all the karate stuff, so work on everything. My involvement is that, and also I'm Eli in the film protecting Tavius, as you said earlier, Hitchman and stuff. So I'm protecting, and it's pretty unique. Like it's great, man. I mean, I love this thing so much, and I've been practicing daily on my craft, perfecting and everything. So my involvement is the mixed martial arts in the film, stunt acting. That's my involvement so far.
Awesome. That sounds great. So Tyrell, I want to ask you about your role in the film as an actor, but also as a cinematographer. And I heard you also edited the film.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I did all.
When you direct the film, when you directed Lyrical Protege, for example, what was your approach? So you have this story that Merck put together, but you're directing it and you're thinking about shots and whatnot. Can you talk a little bit about your process?
So I had to be a little bit of a casting director too. I had to sort who was serious, in terms of taking projects serious, who had a passion for acting. And I had to look back into my contacts to see who I had worked with in the past and who I did projects with and who were dependable. Okay. So that was the first thing before we even started shooting. Like I had to figure out who can have like a more detailed role, who will have like less time to shoot. So that correlated with me scheduling. So after I figure out who I can depend on, I went into scheduling. Okay, so let me see who's available this time or that time. And then we began scheduling. And we had to shoot this film in 2 months before I moved to LA. Okay. So I had to really like find who were serious.
Okay.
And then that's the part that's from scheduling.
Right.
And then the process of filming, I had to, since I was filming it, I didn't have to really create like a detailed storyboard. Because usually if somebody else is filming it, I would create a detailed storyboard with a shot list.
Okay.
And then I might script line it as well, just for, just to have it as on a hard script copy for my, so I can help direct it faster when I have the script in my hand. But since I was, the camera operator, I could just have like a brief description of how I want the scene to look, and then I could go off of that. And as I film scenes, I think about how I'm going to edit the scene.
Gotcha.
And then it was a little complex. It's like, because I always think of backup plans because so many people then flaked on me in a project, and I had to like rewrite the story, re-film it. So I was already thinking ahead of, okay, so if this was a web series, we could film it this way. But what if I can film it as a web series and just in case as a movie? Okay. So that way, when it gets to the editing part, I can combine it and it still makes sense.
Okay. And so right now it's still a film series, correct?
So it's a full movie, but we're gonna make it a dish. We're gonna make a part 2. So it is a movie series.
You think about it as like a MCU. It's a film series, but each movie is kind of like a chapter, maybe moving towards.
Yes. I feel like yes, it's a different chapter because the multiverse, the artist world and corp world is so huge. It can be different chapters.
Okay, cool. And so, Merk, when it comes to producing a film, what does that involve for you as it relates to this particular project? You said you had this story and that you had to rewrite it so that they would be both Ty and Dante would be the leads. But what other producing activities were you involved in with this production?
I kind of look at it like the three of us are executive producers. Okay. But I told them when we met, like the reason why you're even asking Ty about his editing, right, is because each one of us wears like 3 hats. Each one of the 3 of us wears 3 hats. And when I met them and we started working on it, I told them, like, once again, I'm not trying to big bro y'all, even though I'm a little older than y'all. Like, I'm just organizing us. If each one of the 3 of us think of 3 jobs, each one of us executive produces. Executive produces is just the decision making behind the project, what's going to happen, who's in, who's out. Right. But Tyrell directing and then editing, and playing the lead is really like 4 roles. Even what you asked him a minute ago, right? He was so slick at the editing and the directing. There's one scene in this film where the guy that fights Dante, when Dante has to fight his brother, basically Big Bruno, the woman who has him fight, they're working together, but the way Tyrell filmed it, they never even met on set that day. Wow. They never even met, but they look like they're a team and they're working together. She said, "Hey, go kick his ass." And he says, "Yes." But the way he was is scheduling. So it's like he was directing, but like he said, he's already thinking of how to edit it while we're there. Cause I'm sitting back like, bro, like what the hell? Cause I'm holding the audio equipment and like, so to answer your question, we really did have to do what Ty was saying. We started filming in October. Ty was leaving in February. It was like this. I would write an episode from Monday to Wednesday. I would send the episode to everybody Thursday. Everybody would only have 2 days with the script, and we shot Saturday and Sunday and then did the next episode next week. So everybody you see, nobody had more than 3 days with their script.
Wow.
Across the whole project, nobody had more than 3 days with their script. So I really think that's one thing that Ty did as a showrunner, as a director, to keep us on task. So it's like he really was bringing in the right creatives. And then Dante's role, like he said, because I only brought maybe 2 people into the project that you see on screen. So Ty is bringing them in, and then Dante is working with them, like stand here, stand there. This is your lines, and
that kind of thing.
All of that type of stuff. So in addition to being just a stunt coordinator, he was also an acting coordinator and a lead role. And so it's like all of us wore a lot of hats. Like all of us wore like 3 or 4 hats. So my role in just producing it was like making sure that the audio at least because I'm holding the audio equipment while Ty is filming. I'm holding the audio equipment and realizing like, oh shit, I'm the one that has to mix this later on, because we have a couple of scenes that took a while to get the mix right. But I was kind of there as a script editor also because I wrote the dialogue. So it's like I'm there if somebody gets a line wrong or that type of thing. The production process was actually more fun than anything because we shot it during the C word during the pandemic. We shot, so a lot of places we want to go to are closed. Okay. It's amazing that we even got it done. I still be looking back on the production of it alone, and like I've worked on albums that were shorter and harder to do. The fact that we got that done in 3 or 4 months with his leaving for LA, like the production was fun. It was fun more than anything.
Oh, nice. So Dante, I like the way Merk is talking about everybody wore all these different hats. How did you deal with managing acting, blocking people, helping people out with their lines, in terms of the script? How did you manage your multiple roles?
Well, one thing I would say is when we get an actor or actress that have a script and stuff, a lot of them, sometimes have our time reading the script. So you'd be like, okay, as long as you focus on the key points, you kind of go off script a little bit. Just stick to the key points and kind of do you, no pressure and stuff.
Okay.
Other than, and also one job of mine was cast director too, getting everybody together. So I would help them kind of like, okay, let's do it like this. How do you feel comfortable? Do hit these key points. Let's stand right here. Kind of like listen to them. That's one thing too. Especially like I said, go back to the stunt acting, show them how to fall, the wrist and everything, and just like make. You gotta, you can read a script, but like actually get into the character. Anybody read a script, but actually read it like you're actually a character. Read it, show emotion and stuff. So I was focused on emotion and I focus on keywords or scripts. I know sometimes it can be hard to remember scripts, but don't think about too much. So that's one of my roles too.
This is
so
good.
That's my involvements. Yeah.
It's good. What's rising for me out of this conversation you guys talking about is that there's chemistry here.
Yeah.
There was chemistry, there was camaraderie, there was a sense of a mission in terms of getting it done within a scheduled amount of time. It was also, as you said, Mark, you had fun doing it post-production. You were interested in putting it together. So Ty, how was it in terms of editing? You said you were blocking shots and thinking of shots as you were filming it. So, but how was the editing process for you? Did you edit where you were in LA or did you do it before you left for LA?
I did it both. I started editing in Ohio. I did like the layout, the timeline, because as I edit films, I look through all the footages to see which clip is the best out of all the other ones. So when as I edit, the second thing that I do once I find the clips, I put it on my timeline in order. So I start with the first episode. I line all the clips up. And since it was like a web series, I do one episode at a time. Once I have everything all laid out, then I move to the audio. Since we film the audio separately, like it's not from the camera audio. Because you want to get good audio, you have to have a camera, you have to have an audio recorder.
Audio track that you would
Audio track. Yeah, so I put the track, I have to line up the track with each clip. Then once I do that, I start playing around with the transitions to see how I filmed it, to see if I can give like a director best type of specialty, like in the film. Like how a lot of film directors, they have like a certain type of like camera angle that's in all their films.
Yeah.
Ike
So
Williams,
I wanted to
Michael Bay, they all, you're right, they all do that.
Tarantino.
Yeah, so
Kubrick,
yeah, so right, they all have it. So when I have everything laid out, I start getting creative with it. I start trying to see where I can put that type of special scene, that special transition in the timeline.
Right.
Then I go into color grading. Color grading is a whole nother, ball game. Takes a long time. You got to balance out the colors, bring out the colors, make sure the tones, match. Make sure every scene is cohesive with each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't have a scene slightly off because it's gonna throw the whole temperature, the whole layout, the composition, away. So it's not gonna work.
Right, because the
So
whole
it's a little process, yeah.
to tell the
It's a little
story.
tedious.
The
Yeah, to
images,
tell the story.
everything is helping to tell this story. And
Mm-hmm.
so we're coming up towards the end. I want to give you guys an opportunity to, what do you want this film to do? Can each of you answer that question? What do you want the film to do? What's your vision?
So
No,
I want this. Well, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
Okay, I want the film. So far, it's on Shine TV, which will have the everything available and stuff, how to get the link and everything. To be big, multiple platforms, go big. Have another a second movie coming out. Go big and just do other projects along with this too. Not retaining to this other projects to keep building and going and everything. So that's our goal right now, to just keep going forward.
Okay.
Keep a foot in the gas.
Good. Merk?
I want this project to make us millionaires. And for us to enjoy working together. And I've already started writing part 2, volume 2 in my mind.
Okay.
But we definitely need to be all in the same space. Like right now, the only thing stopping us from working on part 2 really is we just are in different, like he really did move to LA. So and I just, spent this summer like looking for a job and just finally got back to work and that type of thing. So, regular life, as that calms down and this, can be something that really supports us. Yeah, man, I would like this to be a franchise. My hope is for us to get it on. I've been telling the guys, I really feel like Ice Cube is somebody who, out of all of the different players, you got Byron Allen, you got Tyler Perry, Puff has Revolt TV. Even getting it on Shine TV, like because of my work in the music scene, I was able to get us, a pitch team that was able to pitch this and pitch this and pitch this and pitch this till someone picked it up. But because that's another thing we haven't really talked about, like how Ty was saying, man, like we worked on this like a web series, so like episodes. When they said, hey, Tubi will only take it if this, these other people will only take it if that, they hit us up and said, y'all gonna have to turn this into a movie if it's gonna get on anything. So we had to go back and re-edit, redo the sound, we had to learn closed captioning. We had to, like, this was a lot of work for real. Like it hasn't stopped. It hasn't stopped.
But that's good to kind of, what I love about movies, like Ty, I go to movies all the time. I watch films. I have a short film. I think in images, and so I'm constantly thinking about how we can tell stories better, right? How can we tell them with the Ty Betts flair, or your own personal flair? And so knowing about how it came together is really useful, I think, to most audiences. It's more than just telling them about what the film is about. It's like what went into it. They're not going to see the guts. You guys created the guts. You were there.
That was filming through the whole pandemic. Everything was closed. And we had a time, like you said, through February. I mean, code and everything, and casting director getting everybody's skills together. We had 19 people, so we had to get 19 people. Whoever needed to do a script that day, we had to get them on the same track as far as everybody else. So it was tough, but we got it out, and we just stuck through and we got it done.
This is good. So Ty, what is your vision for the film?
So I want this. So my vision is to push this film out there so much that we have, massive, or we have different directors or producers in Hollywood, because where I'm at, maybe reach out and invest in our vision. So that way we can have a bigger production in part 2. And on top of that, maybe it can open up a door for Dante and Merk to maybe come out here and relocate. Then we can really kind of like scale our vision, because there's so many. Me being out here in LA is so much to utilize out here. Yeah. It's like you have different locations. It's always sunny. We don't have to worry about the winter. We have Pier Space. Pier Space has a whole bunch of different locations, like a jail, different things. Like there's just so much to utilize out here. So
okay.
I feel like if this can create like a financial freedom for all of us, we can even scale it even bigger.
I like it when people talk about what they envision, because you got to be able to conceive it. You got to be able to talk about it and talk it up so that people know what you're looking for. Because if you're quiet about stuff, people don't know what you're doing. They can't recommend you. They can't produce stuff for you. They can't invest in your dream. And so it's always good to let people know what you're dreaming of and what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So what you got? Last words, each of you? Let's start with Dante. What's your last words?
Last words is check out our film, Lyrical Protege, on Shine TV. You won't be disappointed. If you like techno music, rapping, I mean, just check it out. You won't be sorry.
Nice, nice. Ty?
Make sure, y'all check it out. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, Director Bets, Facebook, Tyrell Bets, YouTube, Director Bets. I post every day, giving knowledge to videographers or, photographers, engineers, about dealing with, because I used to film, or I still work with a lot of rappers. So I have knowledge on filming rappers that are serious versus rappers that are not serious. It's an interesting concept, interesting approach. You could
got a whole series on it. He got a whole series on that.
A whole series. I got viral videos, so you're probably gonna see me on the Explorer pages. But yeah, definitely check that out. You get your laugh on and you'll learn at the same time.
Awesome.
Nothing better than that.
All right, bring it home. Merk?
I would say, think of us as someone that you can hire. I will hope anyone that sees this, when I met the guys and we completed it, I told them Lyrical Protege is a giant resume for each of the three of us. Like, I want somebody to hire Dante to do stunt and martial arts acting on their set. Somebody hire Tyrell to come and hold a camera, do some editing. Hire me to do some music. If you have a commercial or a film, you don't have any music for it, if you have gaps in your writing, hire me. And my bachelor's is in PR, so I do public relations consultation, that type of stuff also. So what I'm thinking next is, like, we all want that financial freedom he was talking about. Hire us. And then we'll get that.
Get that freedom.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming on. I Want to Know, hosted by Stephen G. Fullwood, and take care of yourself and keep working.
Got you. All right. Nice. Thanks for having us.
No problem.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Take it easy.